Hello everyone, Julio here. After diving into new isometric action RPGs and Diablo-like games in 2025, I realized that we still haven't discussed about the overall new action RPGs that you should play this year. I know everyone have their own terms about action RPGs, but in this video, we will focus on the general sense of RPGs that implementing action combat. That being said, since this list is about new games, I won't rank the games based on my verdict, so the number in this list is not representing the ranking of the game. But before we go into the list, I want to introduce you to the best platform for buying games in this modern era, and it's called instant gaming. Instant gaming is the perfect place for you to shop in games these days. Your transactions are legit, fast, and their supports are ready 24/7, so you don't need to worry about anything. Do you think I was done? Not even close. They have lots of games for your favorite platforms, and they have the best deals as well. Instead of cutting your budget for dinner to buy new games, why not try instant gaming and eat healthy as well? All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platforms. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Nitro Plus may be known for its dark and unforgettable visual novels, but with Doll's Nest, the studio has proven it can build a full 3D action game with surprising confidence. The premise is deceptively simple. A fractured deity tasks you with recovering her lost pieces across a ruined world. Yet the storytelling style, delivered through cryptic dialogue and careful environmental details. The structural design echoes Demon's Souls vibe, while the movement and combat systems take clear cues from Armored Core. Battles focus on high-speed range combat, dodges, and precise ammo management instead of melee duels, making each fight about resource control as much as reflexes. Exploration is also equally engaging, with vertical traversal, hidden routes, and clever environmental hazards reworked into enjoyable challenges. Indie dungeon crawlers rarely manage to carve out an identity in the crowded Souls-like space, but FlyKnight does exactly that. Developed by Wababoy, this first-person RPG embraces weighty combat and atmospheric exploration, while also offering a refreshing insect-themed world that feels both strange and engaging. You step into the armor of Sir Buzalot, venturing into the twisted depths of Lunamoth's lair. The combat completely defines the experience, with stamina governing every swing, block, and parry. The limb targeting system stands out as a clever twist, letting you disarm enemies or break their defenses by focusing attacks strategically. Combined with a wide range of weapons and spells, the system pushes players to think creatively, rather than brute force their way through encounters. After years in early access, the Slormancer has finally arrived in its full release, and it stands out as one of the most beginner-friendly yet deceptively deep action RPGs you can play in 2025. The story kicks off with the over-the-top hero Brian McRib falls to the villainous Slormancer, and you are tasked to save the town and its villagers. The playful writing sets the tone for a game that never takes itself too seriously, yet manages to deliver surprising mechanical depth. Combat is streamlined by design. Each of the three classes, Knight, Huntress, and Mage, can only equip 2 skills at once, making fights approachable without losing tactical variety. Skills level up through use, unlocking unique perk trees that let you customize abilities in ways that feel both personal and flexible. Just as importantly, everything can be refunded at no cost, from perks to attributes to the expansive Ancestral Legacy tree. Heroes of Hammerwatch II is one of those rare sequels that knows exactly what to carry forward and what to expand. The first game already hooked players with its satisfying blend of roguelike progression, co-op flexibility, and charming presentation, and this follow-up keeps all of that intact while layering on more depth. The premise is straightforward. You set out from your town to face an evil cult, venturing into dangerous dungeons where death is inevitable. Every run feeds into a larger loop of progression. Town building unlocks upgrades, buffs, and ways to tweak dungeon layouts. Characters grow through levels, stat boosts, and permanent equipment, while trinkets add run-specific bonuses that give each attempt a different rhythm. Class design is also another strength. You will choose from 7 classes, each with 3 subclasses that encourage experimentation, and the option to respec freely means no build ever feels wasted. Dune Awakening is the closest the sci-fi epic has ever come to being fully realized as an interactive experience, and for the most part, it succeeds brilliantly. Set in an alternate timeline where Paul Atreides was never born, this game lets you carve out your own path on Arrakis while weaving through lore-rich story beats and cryptic encounters with familiar factions. Where the game shines brightest is in its survival loop. Everything about the desert is weaponized against you. Blistering sun, lethal sandstorms, scarce water, and of course the colossal sandworms. Overcoming these hazards becomes the core progression, building your first vehicle to cross open sands, crafting suits to endure heat, or harvesting water from dew at night.
Dozen others. Always the same. The strong.
AI Limit arrives as another entry in the increasingly crowded Souls-like genre, and while it doesn't redefine the formula, it delivers a solid, enjoyable experience for players who love methodical combat and challenging encounters. The game opens in a grim post-apocalyptic world filled with androids and ruined machines, a setting that blends Dark Souls structure with a futuristic aesthetic. The combat feels immediately familiar yet satisfying. Perfect parries, heavy counterattacks, a variety of weapon types, and flashy magic options give players multiple ways to approach fights. One interesting twist is the shared resource system, where stamina, shields, and magic all draw from the same bar, preventing overly passive or range play and encouraging aggressive decisions. Level design also remains tight and interconnected, with classic challenges like poison swamps and imposing bosses that demand patience and timing. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma feels like the fresh start this series has long needed. Set in the eastern land of Azuma, the story begins with a familiar amnesiac hero but quickly grows into something far more engaging. As an earth dancer facing the looming celestial collapse, you meet gods, awaken villages, and uncover a past that ties directly into the fate of the world. What makes Guardians of Azuma stand out is its balance between systems. The action combat is fast, responsive, and backed by weapon-specific skill trees that reward experimentation. Boss battles also bring unique mechanics, while perfect dodges and special abilities add tension and variety. Farming and village growth remain central, but they're handled with an approachable flow, allowing you to manage crops, assign villagers to jobs, and expand communities without the process becoming tedious.
Don't think you bested me yet. I shan't succumb to this.
RAIDOU Remastered shows how a classic can return with care while still revealing the limits of its time. Originally released in 2006, this Shin Megami Tensei spin-off sets its story in an alternate Taisho-era Japan, where detective and devil summoner Raido Kuzunoha XIV investigates supernatural cases threatening the capital. The noir-inspired setting, combined with a supernatural mystery, gives the game an atmosphere unlike anything else in Atlus's catalog. The remaster modernizes the experience in smart ways. Random encounters are gone, replaced with instance battles where you control Raido in real time, dodging attacks, exploiting weaknesses, and commanding 2 demons at once. New features like jump attacks and more responsive controls make combat feel sharper than ever. Outside battle, demons also lend their abilities to investigations, while the expanded demon roster and full fusion system give fans plenty to experiment with. Tales of Graces F Remastered arrives as the first step in Bandai Namco's 30th anniversary project for the Tales of series. This remaster brings one of the series' strongest adventures onto modern platforms, giving both longtime fans and newcomers a chance to experience its heartfelt story and refined action combat. The skit system, a Tales trademark, remains a highlight, injecting humor, warmth, and character insight between major events, with newly dubbed English skits enriching the experience. Gameplay remains one of Grace's greatest strengths. The chain capacity system keeps battles fast and fluid, while the mix of A artists and B artists gives every character unique depth. Dualizing, the game's versatile crafting system, and the Eleth mixer also ensure progression never loses momentum, offering plenty of experimentation for those who enjoy fine-tuning builds. Hell is Us is not a game that holds your hand. Set in the war-torn land of Hadia, this title builds its entire identity around the idea of observation and interpretation. There is no map, no quest markers, and no guiding arrow. Instead, progress comes from careful attention to the environment, from piecing together notes, conversations, and landmarks until the path forward becomes clear. It can be disorienting at first, but once you adapt, the design creates a rare sense of immersion where every discovery feels earned. The story follows Remy, a man returning to his homeland in search of his missing family, only to find a nation fractured by civil war and plagued by creatures called the Hollow. Combat, though familiar, provides enough depth through limbic weapons and unique augments like Rage or Terror to keep encounters engaging. Combined with puzzles that range from simple riddles to layered scavenger hunts, the gameplay balances action with intellectual challenge. Teon has come a long way since the infamous Rambo game, and with RoboCop Rogue City, they proved they could capture the weight and grit of a beloved license. Its new standalone expansion, Unfinished Business, doubles down on that promise, trimming away the meandering pace of the original and delivering a focused story that feels sharper, tighter, and more rewarding. Set after Rogue City, the game begins with a brutal assault on the precinct that leads Murphy to the Omni Tower. Along the way, you'll uncover a mysterious ally, confront a villain from Murphy's past, and get a surprising dose of new lore that enriches the RoboCop universe. Combat also remains the heart of the experience, with the trusty Auto 9 pistol at its core. Upgrades and circuit boards transform it into a true power fantasy, and the mix of environmental takedowns, heavy weapons, and story-driven gadgets keeps firefights satisfying throughout. It's rare for a Souls-like to grab everyone's attention, but the first Berserker Khazan did exactly that. Stepping away from character creation, you embody Khazan himself, a disgraced general turned vengeful berserker whose partnership with the spectral blade Phantom. Where Khazan truly shines is in its combat and design. Every weapon type, like greatsword, spears, dual blades, feels distinct, bolstered by layered skill trees and a progression system that rewards both triumphs and failures. Perfect guards, evasive counters, and well-timed staggers also keep fights sharp, while shortcuts and collectibles lend missions a rewarding rhythm. Each map feels handcrafted, from claustrophobic caverns to sprawling temples, and secrets tucked away in every corner encourage return visits. The boss battles are also the undeniable highlight. Fierce, demanding, and brilliantly paced, they rival some of the best in the genre, walking that fine line between fairness and ferocity. After the uneven reception of Borderlands 3, Gearbox needed to prove the series could still lead the looter-shooter genre it created. Borderlands 4 does exactly that, shifting into a true open world for the first time and giving players the freedom to explore Kairos. The change in structure makes a huge difference. Exploration feels dynamic, side quests blend seamlessly into the main adventure, and co-op play is more flexible than ever. Movement and combat have also evolved. Vault Hunters can now grapple, glide, dash, and even swim, adding a level of verticality and speed that makes firefights more thrilling than anything the series has seen before. Enemy design has expanded alongside this freedom, with new creatures and smarter boss mechanics forcing you to adapt rather than just unload bullets. Not everything lands though. Bugs, performance hiccups, and awkward invisible walls can ruin some players' experience, but they rarely overshadow the sheer fun of looting, shooting, and laughing your way through chaos. Dynasty Warriors Origins marks a true fresh start for the long-running series, balancing the large-scale action fans expect with a renewed focus on storytelling. Rather than jumping between famous generals, you now step into the shoes of a new wandering warrior whose mysterious past slowly unravels across a 40-plus hour campaign. While the silent protagonist can feel flat at times, the way the narrative follows the early years of iconic figures brings new perspective to events that have been retold countless times. The combat has also evolved. Battles feature more enemies on screen than ever, creating a genuine 1 versus 1,000 experience. At the same time, deeper mechanics like parries, perfect dodges, and a robust weapon proficiency system ensure the fighting never feels shallow. With 9 distinct weapon types, each with its own combos, battle arts, and Musou techniques, combat stays fresh from start to finish. With Beneath Ancient Skies update, Last Epoch has cemented itself as one of the must-play action RPGs this year. This update introduces a wealth of new content while refining what already made the game so compelling. The highlight is the Primal Hunt, a fresh endgame system where players chase down the adaptive Rift Beast across time. Each encounter lets you shape how the creature evolves, creating a cycle of escalating challenges and rewards that feels both tense and rewarding. The campaign expands with a 10th chapter set in the ancient era, a visually striking realm filled with dinosaurs and polished environments. Class updates also bring new life to old favorites, with the Acolyte's Lich and Necromancer masteries receiving major overhauls and additional skills to experiment with. Core systems like crafting, stash management, and loot filtering have all been improved, making progression smoother without losing depth.
With inspiration, those lost in the shifting sands will be found by Majasa's will. Was wrong?
Ryuga Gotoku Studio has never shied away from experimentation, but Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii may be its boldest detour yet. Trading neon-lit streets for open seas, this spin-off transforms Goromajima into an unlikely pirate captain, blending swashbuckling naval combat with the series' trademark eccentric humor. The story is lighthearted but effective, following Majima's quest for lost treasure while juggling his newfound amnesia and eccentric crew. On the gameplay side, Pirate Yakuza splits its time between chaotic ship battles and flashy hand-to-hand combat. Naval fights are layered with strategy as crew management, cannon upgrades, and tactical positioning. While on land, Majima's new Sea Dog stance delivers some of the most fluid melee action the series has seen in years. Honolulu also returns as a vibrant hub filled with distractions, and though some smaller islands repeat layouts, there's no shortage of side activities or surprises. When Lords of the Fallen launched, it struggled to strike the right balance between challenge and fairness. Enemy encounters often felt overwhelming, weapon movesets lacked personality, and combat carried an unwelcome stiffness. For many, it was a Souls-like that had promise but fell short of its ambitions. With the arrival of the massive 2.0 update, however, Hexworks has transformed the experience into something far more rewarding and accessible. The first major improvement is pacing. early hours now ease players into the journey with better designed encounters, while optional modifiers allow veterans to raise the difficulty if desired. The addition of lamp guidance makes exploration smoother, pointing the way between vestige save points without undercutting the sense of discovery. Combat has also seen a dramatic overhaul. Responsiveness is sharper, movesets are more distinct, and weapon variety finally feels meaningful. While animations still lack some weight, the floaty positioning of the launch version is no longer a frustration. This year continues to be a landmark year for RPGs, and Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon stands out as one of the boldest releases yet. Developed by Questline and Awakened Realms, this first-person open-world adventure takes Arthurian legend and twists it into something grim and oppressive. Heavily inspired by Oblivion and Kingdom Come: Deliverance, the game leans on storytelling, exploration, and atmosphere rather than power fantasy. You're meant to feel vulnerable, even desperate, as you navigate its ruins. What sets it apart is the writing. Your choices matter, consequences linger, and nearly every NPC feels distinct, with excellent voice work that makes the world feel alive. The quest design follows suit, with side stories that enrich the setting instead of padding it. Exploration is also equally rewarding, thanks to diverse biomes, handcrafted dungeons, and a strong emphasis on alchemy and crafting. The Metroidvania renaissance has been kind to fans, and among them, the Ender series has carved its own niche. Ender Magnolia proves a worthy successor to the beloved Ender Lilies. It's a sequel that refines, evolves, and deepens without losing the fragile melancholy that defined the original. This time, players step into the role of Lilac, a young attuner who awakens without memory in a crumbling city overrun by maddened homunculi. Like before, she doesn't fight alone. Instead, the guardians she tunes to act as her weapons, each with unique styles that can be freely mixed and upgraded. Bosses demand experimentation, encouraging players to swap abilities and tailor builds around burning, freezing, or countering foes. Combat is also tighter than before, thanks to smarter tweaks like the removal of contact damage, while traversal flows smoothly with dashes, grapples, and double jumps unlocking at a brisk pace. Stellar Blade has finally made its way to PC in 2025, and the transition arrives with polish that sets a new standard for console to PC releases. The complete edition isn't just a port, it's the definitive way to experience one of the most stylish action games in recent memory. At its core, Stellar Blade thrives on its combat. Borrowing the precision of Souls-likes and the spectacle of character action games, every fight demands focus while rewarding mastery. Parries, dodges, and counters create a rhythm that becomes increasingly fluid as Eve's skill set expands, with beta and burst abilities adding cinematic flair. The PC version enhances this with superb optimization. Support for DLSS 4, FSR 3, ultra-wide, and unlock frame rates ensures the game not only looks stunning but feels more responsive than ever. Environments are also intricately designed, from ruined cities to desolate wastelands, while character models showcase remarkable detail.
Pass through the lasers without a single damage.
Few RPGs recapture the wonder of stepping into a living, breathing world, but Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 manages it with aplomb. Picking up Henry's tale almost immediately after the first game, Warhorse Studios delivers a sweeping medieval saga that feels part historical drama, part Hollywood blockbuster. It's a story brimming with dynastic conflict, political intrigue, and deeply human moments anchored by Henry's transformation from blacksmith's son to hardened warrior. The highlight though is Kuttenberg, a sprawling, meticulously crafted medieval city that may stand as one of the great wonders of modern RPGs. Its bustling streets and layered quests make it a joy to inhabit, and across 2 vast maps, nearly every side quest carries weight, whether it's solving a grisly murder or navigating rival sword schools. Combat remains a standout. The refined first-person melee system, bolstered by archery improvements and deeper progression perks, demands precision yet feels more approachable than before. The long-awaited return of Titan Quest has finally arrived, and even in early access, it already feels like a strong foundation for one of 2025's most promising action RPGs. The game opens with a powerful scene of Spartan downfall, setting the tone for a journey shaped by myth, tragedy, and survival. Gameplay stays true to the genre's roots, fighting monsters, gathering loot, and steadily building power. But Titan Quest II adds depth in how progression is handled. Attribute points influence multiple secondary stats, while the mastery system allows you to tailor skills through modifiers. The dual mastery choices with multiple paths also offer variety, and the option to respec keeps the experimentation open. The combat also feels deliberate and challenging, leaning toward precision rather than swarms of enemies. After years of anticipation, Hollow Knight Silksong finally emerges, and it more than justifies the wait. Team Cherry has crafted a sequel that builds on the original's foundation while offering its own identity, with Hornet taking center stage as a more expressive and driven protagonist. Her presence immediately changes the tone. Where the knight was silent, Hornet's voice and determination make the story clearer and more personal. The new land of Farloom is breathtaking, both in its design and its themes. From crumbling coral canyons to the clockwork splendor of the Citadel, every region brims with visual beauty and layered secrets. Exploration feels purposeful, with branching routes that reward curiosity and a map system that makes tracking progress less punishing. The silk-based healing system balances risk and reward, giving even the toughest encounters a sense of fairness. Tools and crests also expand customization, letting players tailor builds to their style while encouraging experimentation. Path of Exile 2 has always carried the weight of expectation, but its newest update proves grinding gear games is building something far beyond a traditional ARPG. With the arrival of new update, the campaign takes a dramatic step forward, blending imaginative set pieces, inventive boss fights, and a freedom of exploration that sets it apart from earlier acts. Unlike the more linear start, Act 4 introduces island hopping structure, letting players tackle different regions in any order. Each location offers its own storyline, challenges, and rewards, creating a variety that keeps the pace brisk and avoids the fatigue of endless dungeon crawling. What makes this update stand out is how it reshapes the entire campaign experience. It's no longer just a stepping stone to the endgame, and with 2 acts still to come, Path of Exile 2 is shaping up to deliver one of the best ARPG campaigns in years. After months of cutting through Night Lords and Everdark Sovereigns, Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN's new Deep of Night mode has breathed fresh life into the game. Instead of a one-and-done challenge, this is a ranked gauntlet that tracks your success across runs, rewarding victories and punishing defeats with shifts in standing. It's not endless in the literal sense, but the drive to climb higher gives it an addictive long-term pull. The format is familiar. You'll join 2-day expeditions that lead into a Night Lord showdown. Standard enemies now strike harder, while mutated variants with their crimson glow force players to adapt on the fly. The real draw though comes from the new loot. Weapons and relics now carry both buffs and drawbacks, pushing players to weigh every choice carefully. Depth's relics expand this push and pull further, offering unique effects unavailable in the base game but always tied to penalties. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are other new action RPGs that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best new action RPGs that probably deserve a spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss another great list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!